or what I know is Merlin's method refers to, we take this goal, right? So your goal is I grant I want to have the have a top 10 ranked podcast, and I want to go through and interview interview someone that is my idol, right? So your interview, you could have that goal be Jocko Willenick or whichever, somebody that's in that sphere, Jordan Peterson or whatever, right? And so we set that goal, and we set that as that's the goal for 5 years or whatever period of time that is. And then we start planning back from 5 years as to where it is we need to be and what it is we need to be doing and landmarks that we need to hit. And we start planning back to the point of, we know that by the end of the week, we need to do this. And so it lays out a very easy template for accomplishing that goal. And that goal could be, I want to get a black belt in jiu-jitsu in 5 years, which is completely possible. People have done it, right? So if you have never done jiu-jitsu, what's your first step?
You got to go in there and sign
you
up and
find a jiu-jitsu gym, right?
Yep.
And then it's like, okay, well, right. So you're showing up, and then there's that kind of working that thing and trying to get that idea. And then, I guess eventually you're gonna need to buy a gi, and you'll get to a point in which you're like, my strength isn't quite where I need it to be. So I need to go through and improve my strength so that I'm not getting pinned in positions that I shouldn't. And you wind up looking at what it is we need to do, right? So jiu-jitsu, I think, is an interesting analogy because there's so many ways that you can win. And there winds up being games and subsystems within the system that is, and under the umbrella that is jiu-jitsu. So you can have, somebody plays a half guard knee shield system, and they have this chain that they run through. And so as you're starting out, the people that wind up getting good are the people that learn those chains. And so when somebody can have the self-assessment as well as the self-assessment, self-awareness, and hopefully good coaching to help them build that systematic approach to accomplishing this objective. Hey, I keep getting caught here. How do I do that? And so whether that's looking at that position, right? If you're planning, right, and going through and improving in this until your idols become your rivals. If you're planning back from 5 years, you're going to be looking at, well, here's the number of competitions I need to be hitting. Here's the competitions that I need to be shooting to hit. Because if I'm not at 5 years trying to make it to at least a Western Canada Open or a tournament in LA or whatever, if I don't have that in the schedule, I'm not going to be fighting the guys that I need to do to reach that. So, okay, like first year, I'm going to hit 4 tournaments. I'm going to hit 4 tournaments, 1 tournament for every stripe that I need to go from white belt to blue belt. That's what I'm going to do. And I was like, okay, all right, second year, you're going to go through and you're going to hit another 4 tournaments as a blue belt. And you're going to train and you're going to reassess and you're going to lose and you're going to take some silvers, but you're going through and earning it. And it's like, okay, I'm going to, right, you look at it, in the next 5 years, I need to hit 20 tournaments, 2 a year, 4 at each belt level. Is that doable? Okay, what do I need to do to make that happen? Right? What's my strength and conditioning need to be? What's my nutrition need to be? Do I need to make adjustments in my personal life, my family life? What's my, right? What can I do for my career? Things like that. How do I fit all that in? But we start planning from the 5-year mark back, from the goal back, as well as when we're kind of coming up, we need to be able to kind of assess where it is we're weak and what it is we need to do to win. And we're using the example of jiu-jitsu because it's easy to lay out. and it's simple for everyone to understand, but that can be a business. You can go through and say, you can say, okay, you know what? I'm fat as shit, and I need to drop 60 pounds. Okay, cool, 60 pounds. So what does that look like? Right? If New Year's rolls around and you say, okay, I'm going to drop 60 pounds. That's my New Year's resolution. Okay. 1 year, 60 pounds. Okay. So that's 5 pounds a month. Yeah, yeah. Okay. So that's a pound and a quarter roughly a week. Yeah, yeah. Okay. So how is it we're going to do that? How are we going to drop that weight? Are we going to keep eating the same and do an additional, 3,000 calories of work a week? Are we going to bring our calories down by 3,000 a week, right? Total. So I mean, you'd be looking at taking off, I don't know, 500 calories a day, right? How is it we're getting to that goal and planning back from that goal? Okay, here's my checkpoint. Here's my landmark. If in the jiu-jitsu example, we look at, well, we just finished year 1 and we went to no tournaments. Okay, well, kind of like why am I doing this, right? If I'm either working towards this goal or I'm not. And every single person that I know that has accomplished great things has taken a systematic approach. They have a clear idea as to where they want to be, and they have loose goals of when they want certain things to happen, certain landmarks to be. And the closer we get to tomorrow, the closer we are tomorrow, the more specific those objectives need to be, right? If it's, you know what, I'm doing this right next week. Okay, cool. I need to hit 4 jiu-jitsu classes next week. I'm going to hit Monday, Tuesday. I'm going to take Wednesday off. I'm going to hit Thursday, and then I'm going to hit at least the open mat on Saturday, if not more. That's the minimum that I need to do. And so when we can go through and make these things in these small chunks, that lofty goal of black belt in 5 years, lose 60 pounds in the next year. When we go through and we break this into bite-sized chunks and we know where we need to be, it becomes a lot more manageable.